Everyone's been asking for this one, right?
Asking for what?
What do you have?
Indian. Super Chief.
You're gonna watch the pro here go from this to this. That simple, okay? It is that simple, right?
It is.
So like 5 minutes or so, stay tuned. Hey guys, Brian Klock and none other than Ryan the Wrench Anderson. The Indian Chief platform, if you will, is an all tube frame construction now. So much like an older Harley-Davidson Softail, any old motorcycle, it's a tube frame construction, right? Prior to this, Indian had used a lot of castings, and those castings are really hard to customize, a lot harder to work with. So you've already seen the majority of the motorcycle industry really gravitate to this platform. It's easier to cut up, easier to make something out of, so you've seen a lot of different variations of that. This is called a Super Chief. The reason it's a Super Chief is this comes with the chrome motor, the leather bags, the black front end. We've already changed out the floorboards. The floorboard that you have on your Chieftain, your Springfield, your Vintage, it's the same floorboard. It just comes on this kit. They come with a silver lever. So at some point, of course, we'll want to make those levers black to kind of match some of this other stuff. We're going to paint these side covers to match. We're going to paint the fairing to match. That'll all be done by Jeff Jurdy at Jurdy Production Paint, Spirit Lake, Iowa. He is the Indian Perfecto King. He and Shannon down there knock it out of the park for us all the time on our projects. The idea here is that we are trying to put a FXRP fairing on this platform. And of course, you've now seen the Sport Chief, which has the fairing on it and that whole deal. And there's also a bobber version of this. We did the Jack Daniels, the number 7 bike of the whole lineup was the bobber. And for those of you watching, and depending on how fast we get this come out, that bike will auction off at Meekum, the last one, the only remaining one, the number 1 of the last 7.
And when will that be?
January 5th. So this might launch about the same time that bike hits the auction block. So if you're quick, get online and maybe you can buy yourself a Jack Daniels bobber. FXRP fairing right here. To make this into this bike, sometimes you have to change the handlebars. You can go with an aftermarket handlebar. There's a lot of people using, Kraus Moto bars, all kinds of things. In this case, we decided to go with a factory Indian handlebar that comes on the Sport Chief. And so it's a kit, right? Keeps the factory gauge. So we're gonna change this out first, right? And that hopefully will transition into something that you, the Indian faithful, the Indian dealer can use so that whether you're working on the clutch cable, the brake lines, you're doing something on the road, it's pretty simple to get maintenance parts,
From
right?
anywhere.
Yeah.
So, Santa Claus from the North Pole working on these Indian parts, trying to get them ready for all you guys. Really cool kit that we have here. I'm gonna put some part numbers right there for you, okay? One of those is going to be a line and accessory handlebar install kit, okay? Another one of those part numbers is going to be this slick looking handlebar, okay? Kind of aggressive, kind of low, still has a nice little pullback for your wrist angle. And the piece de resistance. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, look at that. Isn't that cool? Some risers, but whose risers are they? Indian motorcycle. Wowee, buddy. All right, let's get into it. First of all, let's ditch this. Getting a little hot. Step number 1. Just like every other video, we want to protect our paint. So to do that, we're going to be using a fender cover. If you don't have a fender cover at home, a towel, a tablecloth, a bed sheet, a t-shirt, anything does just fine as long as it's covered in the paint. Step number 2, okay? I would, now thinking of it, I guess with all of our different fitments, I might put this into practice, but because these fork cans are a little wider than most, we're gonna add some tape for safety. So, and what I mean tape for safety is, we're just gonna put some tape around these cans and primarily focusing not so much on the inside, more on the outside, because what's gonna happen is when we go to set this fairing up, we're actually gonna be drawing it across these fork cans here, and we don't wanna be scuffing this paint off with the edge of that fiberglass, you know what I mean? So if we can keep it nice, we're gonna do the best we can. We have our tape here. We have our tape here, okay? All right. So I guess I would say, why don't we start with the headlight? Wanna start with the headlight? And then we'll jump into handlebars?
Works for me.
Okay, does that work for you guys at home? I just really want you guys to be able to see what this new setup looks like, and especially with that new fairing on there. Okay, we will be removing this entire headlight housing, but to unplug the headlight and get the wires out of there, we have to take that bolt off, take this ring off, and then this guy will fall just like that, okay? Now, even though we're not gonna be putting this back on the bike, we wanna make sure that we're keeping all of our stock parts, okay? So this light does not have a lock on it, as you can see, so we're just gonna press down on that center tab there, push and pull. Again, you're gonna have spare parts, so make sure you keep them close. You will have 2 of these Allens, they're 5mm, just in the front of this housing. Okay, now we can take this out of there without scratching up our neck. So we're gonna take our 10mm here, and we're just gonna loosen this nut. If you don't put a finger over this pin here, it will spin on you. So put some pressure on there.
There's a little capture thing down in there.
It does.
That's pretty neat. That's way easier than the Jesus clip on Harleys.
Right?
Okay, so clutch cable.
Clutch cable.
Down.
Indeed. I'm gonna loosen the backside. Why would we loosen the backside? But to get more slack. Ooh, like that. See that? So now we can go. Just like that. Whoa. Dun, 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 dun. So to get that off, we already spun our adjuster all the way back to the sheathing of the cable, which gives us all of our slack here. What you're then gonna do is you're gonna pull on the cable, releasing the pull tab here from its little home right there. If you can see the little half circle there. All right. All right, clutch cable has been removed. Spread the ears on this clamp just enough to get the cable out. Save it. We will be reusing it. Go ahead and put that bolt back in the frame where you took it out of so you don't lose it. In this particular case, if we end up with extra bolts, that is not a good thing. We are not saving weight here. Extra bolts is not good. If you have a friend, that's great. If you don't, grab the perch in the back and in the front, and you're just gonna basically squeeze it together. This will keep the 2 halves from falling apart. Dun, 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 just like that. We did not disturb our seal for our master cylinder, so that'll be okay like that. We've already taken our clutch lever and cable off. Hey, so I'm gonna give you guys a tip that I wish someone told me. When you're working with these Indians, and every time you go to do a set of handlebars, do yourself a favor and remember you have a clutch safety switch. Because every time I do a set of bars, I do this exact same thing every time, which I always forget. Now there will be 2 screws. You have one on the lower right, and you do have one in the upper left. Obviously, you'll notice on the brake side, it will be opposite. It'll be top left and lower right. These you are going to want to be careful with. They are plastic. You will snap the retainer clips if you're not careful. Go ahead and grab those out of there. Those will stay. Gently and carefully take that off. Oh, see that? And then again, you can do what I do every time. Loosen this up, slide your perch slightly, maybe a 1/4 inch. You're gonna take off your back cover, okay? Now, what you're gonna notice is this little wire right here, okay? So this little wire does not have a retainer or anything. You just wanna be gentle with it and pull it straight out. All I'm doing is I'm gonna get this in the gap and I'm gonna rotate the screwdriver. That's it. And now you can actually take it off.
We are not trained nor professionals.
I mean, if we're getting technical here, I believe we are professionals because the definition of a professional is you get paid for the service you perform. So, I mean, I think we are kind of professionals. We're not trained, but I think we're still professionals.
Wait, you guys get paid?
And we're just gonna gently, boop. If you ever have the switch housing covers off and you need to take these off, once you get your 2 screws out, okay, there's a tab down here that you're just gonna, it kind of feels like there's like a rubber seal. You're just gonna pull it apart, and then there's a tab that separates up here. Make sure when you're going together you don't snap that. This side is done, so we can go ahead and, there's one side of the handlebar.
How's the frame and the spring look good?
Voila. So this is your throttle control. For those of you who are around in the days of cables, they were externally run out of the handlebar and would operate your throttle plate. Now it's all electronic, spring-loaded little whoop, insert there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out just enough to expose that plug right there. You gotta push this little detent thing. Oh, there it goes. Let's just get one thing straight. Okay? Never claim to be trained professional. Just claim to be professional. So we got a, oh, wow. So we got a 6mm. Oh, that, wow. Look at that. You see that?
That was nice.
See how much effort I had to break those loose? Because it's all hidden, like, you know what I mean? And then as you're coming down, it's like, oop, I see you. Whoop, I see you. It's poking out there. Oop, there it is. Yep. Gonna use my trusty pen pocket from Dixon, from my Clockworks Dixon, to hold my. Can you hold the handlebar?
Yeah.
Got it?
What is going on?
Perfect. Because what I think I'm seeing here is, I believe they are intending for the screws to come out first and then to undo the plugs, because they both face the outside of the mount. Again, folks, we're both learning here today. Hope you're enjoying the show. Oh, almost if I look like I pay attention in school. Okay, so we're gonna pull that little lock tab up. So that's its rested position.
Were you gonna call it a red rocket?
No, we're gonna pull that up. That's the release position. Now you're gonna push down on that black tab there. Comes right off. Okay, this guy, blue tab, comes right off. Okay, gray tab, this guy, comes right off. Don't let this go. Grab your mount, then let it go. Okay.
And a note for people at home, it might be a smart idea to crack those loose before you take the bar off.
Not everyone will have strength like me. I go to the gym. Little washer cap there. Just like that. And what you'll do is you'll work that loose. And it'll take the sleeve and the rubber out. Just push that lower sleeve out of there. Plug it in the hole. line it up, pluck it in the hole.
So my understanding is Indian has a 6-inch riser and a 10-inch.
They do. Yes, this happens to be the 6. It's got a nice look to it too. Really gives it an aggressive, sporty look over these wishbone looking things. Right? Looks pretty slick. You're going to be using Indian's recommended torque spec on this, which will be provided here. Now that we have our risers cinched down, we're going to take this clamp off the top. Again, 6 millimeter. And we're going to reinstall our gauge.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
I love this.
Oh, that thing?
It's awesome. I love it.
Oh, that's nifty. Would you just look at it?
I don't know the first thing about bikes, but... Want to know the other cool thing about it? It's going to go like this. Look at that. See, it even has the... I mean, you literally can't put it in backwards. We got our new gauge plugged in. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. Righty tighty. No.
Lefty Lucy?
Come on, bro.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
That looks pretty centered.
Want me to hold it?
He hates it. And I love it.
All right, what are we doing?
All right, we're going to run these wires down the left-hand side first.
Okay. How do you know which one's which?
Left-hand side bars ran. Your right-hand side, your throttle side, will have your throttle controller in it. Mm-hmm. Did it pop out yet?
Yeah, it's right here.
And in goes this guy. I don't know. I'm gonna try it.
It'll go. Pull your other side. Your head.
Bro, that's how you do that shit. When you're not trained, that's how you do it. Oh, I'm trying. Boop. Okay, and this one here in particular we're not using because we do not have heated hand grips.
On today's episode of What Not to Do.
On today's episode of Riding Your Motorcycle, always make sure you put your grip on or you won't be going anywhere fast. Always remember to put your grip back on or you won't be going anywhere.
Noted.
All right, so we're almost finished up with the handlebars here. And as you'll notice, I'm putting the brake perch with the master cylinder back on here, but we didn't change the brake line. Okay, well, for those of you who are planning on doing something like this, okay? If you're going with the 6-inch Indian riser setup, you're good on your stock brake and clutch cable, okay? If you're going with that 10-inch riser, want to be that cool kid, you're gonna need the extension kit. What's it missing, Shelton?
Hey, remember when Ryan said put your grips on?
Let me just tell you, slow and steady wins the race. Okay. See? Trying to make me look bad. See? It's all good. This ain't my first rodeo. I'm chill as a cucumber.
Cut to Ryan.
Hey, it looks better with the grip on it this time.
It does. And these, you're literally tightening these by hand, and that's it. Like, that's it.
So, what if I use my Milwaukee Impact on it? Is that cool?
Absolutely. You will find yourself buying a new switch housing. And guess what? I'm not going to pay for it either. Because what's my most famous saying, Shelton?
Send it home.
What?
Cross thread is a tight thread.
Bro, that was so like 2021. No, it's 2-finger tight.
Oh, okay.
Taking it off again.
Hey, you gotta put your neutral clutch switch thingy in.
That just rolled off your tongue, dude.
Yeah.
You know, the cool part is I can make it look like you did this fluidly and only fucked up never.
But what's the fun in that?
Exactly.
Editor, put that right here.
Never know, she might work. So, for those of you who didn't really see it coming off, that little tab there is going to get sucked up against that lock there. But first, we're going to put this metal part of the cable through that little open slot there.
You gonna take your nut off first or not?
Bloop. Oh, yeah. So that was just me showing you guys how that really works. But now to actually do the assembly, we're going to take our nut off. Then we're going to slide it through this hole here. Once we get that cable through that hole, then we're going to take this guy. Just slide it through there. Come on. There we go. Whoa. Whoa. But before we do that, we're going to put our nut back on that I've been holding just to keep warm. Okay. There we go. All right. We're going to get this guy started here. Remember that little retainer clip we took off earlier? Okay. I'm going to take that bolt out. Throw this around our clutch cable. We're just going to pinch that guy closed just like that. Throw the bolt in. Put it in the little hole. Thread her home. Okay, so when you're going to put your clutch cable in, take your knob and you put your knob in the hole. Line up your cable with your slit and rotate and flip.
Did I tune into a different episode?
I don't know what you want to call it, Jacob. All right.
Needs all freaking chips. Isn't that online? Say it.
Did anyone on the video just see how amazing that was? In that it literally fell perfectly right between with. That will never happen again.
Say the line.
You stop it. You stop it.
Say the line.
That's why we use.
That's why we use fender covers.
There it is.
I don't know that we should say fender covers. We might have to start saying gas tank covers. That was pretty
Lift
close.
covers.
Place the counter right here, editor.
Adjust her up just like that there. Let's see where she's at. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's it. I'm going to slide that up there like that. All right. Okay. Hold this side. Tighten this side. Let's go racing. We have our new risers on. We have our new handlebar on. We have the updated gauge pod here. Here's the old stock one. So the stock one would have had the gauge here. I like the look of the new one a lot better. What do you guys think?
So I think we need the taller risers.
Why?
I can't turn.
What do you mean you can't turn?
So note to self, 10-inch risers for the FXRP fairing.
Oh, indeed. Indeed.
Or no windshield.
Okay, that'll work too. So now we'll start with the fairing install. We'll take a little bit of finagling. And all we're doing here is we're going finger tight for now. Okay, we're just going to let that rest gently. Can you do this alone? Absolutely. Does it help to do it with a friend? Of course, and it's more fun. So I got the video guy, Shelton, my dude. Can you hold my barrel?
Yep.
Okay. So your lower extension pieces here, okay? What you're gonna do is you're going to feed the angled side here, okay? It will face with the angle facing forward. You're gonna feed that up between the A-frame of the frame. Now Shelton's gonna do up my other side for me. Push that guy on there. Hand threader on there. Okay. Here's your lower support bracket. Okay, this is for your mustache bar and for your neck bracket support plates. Okay, this is exactly how it's gonna mount to the bike. Our carriage bolt is gonna go through the square hole here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our carriage bolt and we're gonna feed it through the back side, coming forward, just like that. And we're gonna run a washer and a nut. We're gonna keep that hand tight for now, and then we're just gonna transfer that right to the bike, just like this. You'll almost watch the support braces just line up perfectly, just like that, when we go to install these bolts here.
You could probably throw that bolt in on the top to hold it in place while you put those bolts in.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
We're gonna be using that spare bolt, that long bolt from bag G, just like that. We're also gonna be using another flat washer, and then one of our nylocks. Again, this is gonna be a hand tighten situation only for now. Next step, neck bracket time. All right, we're gonna take our weather stripping from bag H. And what we're gonna do is we're just putting that along the back side of that neck bracket there. Because what you're gonna notice is when we bolt this together, we actually utilize the neck here as part of a bracing feature of the mount. So when we go to bolt this together, this neck bracket will actually sit up against this neck here. So that rubber will be a nice buffer there. We are going to take our bolts from bag F. We're going to install one flat washer. We're gonna rotate the handlebars so that we can get these bolts through this bracket. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we'll put this top bracket in first, just like that. We're gonna secure this with a nut and washer. And then this is where my trusty friend might get mad. But then to do the lower, you're gonna get it close. Then you're gonna push down on the bracket just a little, just to squeeze it up in there. Now, I can help out my friend getting it back up into the chalk. Do you get that, Kim?
You're a little to the right. Thanks, Jake.
I'm literally like this. All of a sudden, the tire goes skirt on the lift. I go wham! I fell, and then as soon as I fall on the bike, then it goes boop, and falls in. Okay, so now we have our nut and washer here. Hand tight that guy. So now you guys can see why we put those rubber grommets in there.
Since preschool.
All right.
Knew this guy
So now,
for a year.
from bag D, we're gonna grab our fairing support mounting bracket plate
Fairing to neck hardware.
and our fairing to neck hardware. Gonna get a flat washer on each one of these bolts. I'm gonna slide this across here. Just like that. Okay. One thing to note is that the bottom of this fairing to headlight support bracket is that little indent there. That indicates the bottom. So we're gonna throw that up there just like that. You do put that indent somewhere else in the orientation other than the bottom, your headlight will not mount up correctly and you'll be taking it back apart again. And just go ahead and just work it in there. It's not gonna be, it was off. There we go. Okay, once you get two in there, it should hold. And each one of these is gonna get a washer and a lock nut on the back of it. Hi, Hunter. Look, everyone, there's Hunter. You get to see him in rare form. That's about as fast as he works, too.
The penguin.
We can see you.
Bag E. This is our lower support to fairing, okay? We may now take the nut and washer off. Be careful not to mix these up with any of these over here, because you don't want to put stuff where it doesn't want to go.
They're coarse thread, not fine thread? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Okay? And then what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and get that lined up. Put a little bit of finger pressure on the backside there. Put our nut on. Finger tight. Personal preference thing. Us at the shop, we like to go from the bottom to the top. It just looks a little cleaner. I like how I said I wasn't going to be working on the ground. And yet, here I am working on the ground. Well, when you get used to working for how many years on
Your knees?
a creeper, instead of a lift, what are you gonna do? I don't know where my 7/16 went.
Hey, do you want to know something cool?
What?
We need to redo those bars to the 10-inch.
With a what?
To the 10-inch.
Why?
I almost guarantee it's not going to clear the windshield.
It won't. I can tell you
So
what,
that's
right
how
now
we're
it
going to end this video. Be like, so just for the record, you need the 10-inch risers, not the 6.
Those are the 6?
Yeah.
I know. I had nothing to do with this. I didn't order no parts or nothing like that. Okay.
It's almost the right size.
Almost. Make sure you're using a standard wrench on a standard bolt and a metric wrench on a metric bolt.
Is that metric on standard?
It is.
Is it like a 14 on a 9/16?
It is. Next step. Headlight adapter, okay? You read it first. Bag J, headlight adapter, okay? So, this little tab here, this indicates the bottom of our headlight spring bucket, okay? So that indicates the bottom. So you notice we have three spring adjustments. Those 3 spring adjustments just so happen to line up just like that. So as long as you have a center bolt in the top and a center bolt hole in the top in the middle here, you're good to go. We're going to take our number 4. Just going to go ahead and we're going to take these all the way out. Don't throw this stuff away. Make sure you save it, especially if down the road you decide to go with an aftermarket headlight. You will need these pieces and parts to reassemble it to utilize that other headlight.
So you only have to do this if you're running a stock Indian light?
Correct.
So I don't have to do this if I'm running an aftermarket 7-inch headlight or if I'm running a Baja or like a rigid light?
That is correct. Bag J. All right. All I'm doing here is I'm putting the spring in the hole, resting the adapter on top of the spring, dropping the bolt through the spring, getting that guy started with my trusty 4mm T-handle made by Gear Wrench. Bam, 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 bam. Look at that, we're still springing. We're springing. All right. We're just gonna give this a little, just a little snug, a little snuggy, you know. And that's it, she's ready to go.
Wait.
Boom diggity.
Do you think people are going to believe us when we tell them that we have no idea what we're doing?
I would venture to say there will be a few people that have a few ideas they would like to get across.
If you did everything properly and you have your headlight in the right way, everything should line up.
All right, here we go.
I heard there's grooves on this lens cover. Where did
There
those
is.
go?
There's two of them, right there and right there. Can you see them?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we almost focused.
See that? See a little slice in there, a little split where I glued it. So I typically put that right between these two because this indicates the bottom.
That's pretty neat.
And then this is the best part of the entire fairing install. It's my favorite part.
This is the hardest part.
Most time consuming. Oh my gosh. All right, we're ready to go. Make sure you wipe this down with some Shine Works except you get your grubby mitts all over it, okay? We'll keep it nice for you. For those of you who haven't joined the club yet, check out our new bottling, dog. And look at this sprayer though. This sprayer is something else. I love it. I love it. You know how you have all them ASMR videos and all that stuff? Okay, we're gonna use a Phillips. And all we're doing here is we're just going enough to get the threads to catch. We're not really trying to tighten it down at this step. Once you have all four started, then you can go ahead and run these in. It's just gonna be the same as our windshields. It's 2-finger tight, guys, okay? So we're just going until we feel some resistance there. That's it, no, nothing farther. Boom, done. Boom, done. There she is right there. So for those of you out there who have a Chief, maybe you have a Springfield, maybe you have a Sport Chief, maybe you have a Super Chief, maybe you just have a regular Chief. This is a cool way to personalize your bike, get a little bit more coverage for those long distance trips, adds a little bit of character to the bike, a little bit of attitude. Even though we realize it won't work, we still wanted to go along with the install. Again, it is Christmas time, right? Season of giving. So we wanted to make sure we completed this video for you guys, just so you could see it. But you will have to use their 10-inch riser option, as the 6-inch option won't quite clear the windshield. But it really did turn out nice. I think it looks awesome. I think it'll be a great addition to the FXRP lineup. Be sure to let us know what you guys think. Comment below. Let us know if you guys have a Chief. Send us some pics. Let us know what you're going to do with them. Those of you who are interested in our fairing, give us a call. Send us an email. All right. We can take this guy off there. You saw it here first, folks. At Klockworks, in the shop. First production FXRP fairing fitment for the Indian Chief. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are very excited for 2024 and all that it has to bring. We are excited for all of these shows to start coming up. If you guys are up in Canada, we will see you in January. If you are down in the Southeast region, we'll see you in March for Bike Week. If you're down in Arizona, we'll see you in April, okay? And so on and so forth. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate the support. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. I'm signing off. That was way too long of an outro.